Well, how's it going? Today, I'm going to show you how I changed the transmission fluid on my 2017 Honda Ridgeline. I've done this many times, and I think I figured out really the best way to do it. So first, let me show you what you need. All right, so you're going to need a really long funnel to fill it through the dipstick hole. You're going to need a timer because checking the fluid on a Honda Ridgeline is ridiculously complicated. You're going to need a 3/8 drive ratchet to get the drain bolt out, and if you so choose, a torque wrench to torque it down to 35 pounds, otherwise you can kind of estimate it. You're going to need at least 4 quarts of automatic transmission fluid. The transmission holds 8 quarts, but you can only change just over 3 each time you change the fluid. I always recommend using gloves and eye protection in case it splatters into your eyes while you're draining it. And you're going to need at least, this is a 5 quart. This is what I would recommend, is a 5 quart pail, and it needs to be clear. And this is so you can put in as much as you take out. So I'll show you how I do that. The drain seal, here's the part number for it. This is the Honda part number. It is an 18mm crush washer, and you can torque it down to 35 pounds. This last thing right here is only if you put in too much, or if you need to put in a little bit extra, you can kind of measure some out and be more precise about it. The dipstick gives you a window about that big between low and full, so it's pretty precise. And that's why I use this. So to check the Ridgeline first, you need to start it. So let me pop the hood. We'll go all the way up for lighting. So the dipstick is way down in there. You can't even really see it. Here, let me get a light. That's your dipstick hole. So the instructions on how to check the fluid on a Ridgeline is to let the engine completely warm up, or you could drive it around. It's got to get up to operating temperature. It says that when the fan kicks on, you can shut the engine off, and then you check the fluid after 60 seconds, but no more than 90 seconds after you shut it off, and then that's where you'll get the most accurate reading. So that's what we're doing. We got a timer. Got a rag, got some gloves. All right. Pull the dipstick, clean it off, put it back in. Now, there is some really hot pipes down here, so you're gonna want, I like to just use long sleeves. I don't like to burn myself. We're right there in the middle. So you can see how in between these two dots, how little leeway you have, and it sits in there like this, right? So it doesn't take much to change the level of it. So it's pretty precise. Go ahead and pull it back. We're gonna drive it up on the ramps. All right, got it up on some ramps. We'll go ahead and raise this back up again. All right, so we're facing towards the driver's side of the car. This right here is your engine oil. Don't pull that. This has got a regular, probably a 17mm. This right here is what we want for transmission. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Now normally you would want this thing not on ramps. You should probably jack up the rear, which I guess I could to get more fluid out. This is a magnet. It's supposed to pick up debris. It's not too bad. This is that 18mm. Now, if you didn't get one of these, I believe you could probably, you know, rub it on some sandpaper, flatten it back out, and reuse them. I buy a bunch of them off of Amazon. You don't want to spill this because you're using this as a measurement. We got old washer, new washer. So we're just getting above 3/4. All right, so we'll set this thing to 35 pounds. Some people say 38. I've always done 35 and it's never leaked. Now you could do it by hand. You don't have to torque it. I just torque it because I have a torque wrench and perfect. Good enough for me. You can kind of feel it like crush down and then just stop. It doesn't take much. All right, let's go back up top. First, so you want to take a measurement here, but you want to note where your container is at, because if you measure it here and then you move it to another table, the table can be, you know, different level or whatever, and you could actually get a different reading. And so I just know that it's up against this block and that line is in line with that. So I know when I empty this out and clean it out, I'll be able to fill it back up and match that line, which we're gonna mark right there. So now, let's dump out the old fluid. But anyway, filled it up back up to the line. So now it's just ready to dump back in the truck. So this is an incredibly long filter, or an incredibly long funnel. Some assembly required. There we go. So this is gonna either go really good or it's gonna go really bad. But either way, you're gonna see it, so nothing to it but to do it. It's right about now where I wonder, do I hear ATF hitting the garage floor? Yeah, we're just gonna ignore those thoughts. I really like this funnel, by the way. It is perfect for this job. Now there is a fill plug somewhere on this transmission, but I've never removed it. I've always filled it through the dipstick hole. I mean, if you can check the fluid there, why can't you fill it there? Those are my thoughts. Good news, it's still dry. I like how I check it when there's like a cup left. We'll let that drain a little bit out of the funnel. The problem with this funnel is it's ribbed. I don't know how much fluid it actually holds in the funnel. It smells good. We'll clean that later. It's way down there, man, I'm telling you. Put it on ramps. It makes it really hard to get. That's in there. Now, it's just a matter of backing the truck off the ramps, checking it one more time, seeing where we're at. Well, hello again. So we're gonna let this thing warm up. We're gonna check it again. and we'll see if we need to add any fluid or not. Now we're waiting for that minute. I knew it was about ready to go off. It was right there. Oh, I can't see. There's a little notch, but you got to make sure to get it all the way in. See how covered that is? But then we're right there at the bottom. And I think that's because it's actually not that hot. We're good. We are good, 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 good. So that's it. Pretty simple. Hopefully that helps you out. I don't know. I like doing it that way. Because it's really, really hard to, it says like 3 1/3 quarts or whatever. It does vary. It varies. Sometimes more will come out. And it's really, to get it on the money, measure what you take out and put exactly back what you took out. So there's the tip. Just the tip.